it's really funny. Like two guys trying to impress this one girl, right? And one guy's like, "Oh, I invented a mantra breathing technique that is called the ego eradicator. Would you like me to show you?" And there's two guys, battling it out.
My two favorite bad boys, Elon Musk and and Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These are all bad boys, right? Why are they bad boys? Because they go against the the narrative.
Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Suman. This podcast is all about how to be an optimal, conscious male in today's society. Are you ready to be a better man?
Welcome back to another episode of the Better Man Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Suman Chatterjee. On the other side, we have Ivan Alejandro Acosta, also known as Ivan, and he got a tattoo today. And he is a reality creation coach, which means your personal reality, your personality helps you create your personal reality. And so he helps you to create your life and your lifestyle according to your own means, not according to anybody else's. And, he's really interested in health, nutrition, breaking people's paradigms and just breaking you out of the matrix to be able to live life on your own terms. So, welcome.
Yo, what's up, everybody? On the other side, we got my homie Sumed MF Chatterjee. He's right now located in India. Got his motherfucking masters in the happiness of motherfucking psych. Oh no, the psychology of happiness. I said it backwards. And he's a flow state coach, right? So he'll help you bring you to the edge of the mountain where you can finally have the perspective that you've been needing your whole fucking life. All right, that's who the fuck is here today. All right, keep that in mind.
That's lit. I like that. I like the imagery, bro. Edge of the mountain. So yeah, we wanted to start off with sharing our wins a little bit, and then we'll go right into the topic. The topic for today is, well, let me share my win first. So basically, I signed up someone on Flowzone Academy from IMC. So shout out to you, brother, if you're listening right now, Samba. He's a top bodybuilder right now. He wants to get his IFCC Pro card. However, he kind of wants to break out of the myths of the fitness industry and stuff. Like he's been cycling, steroids for a while now, and he wants to help people to break out of that kind of pattern as he goes through, proves himself and goes through the process. And he hired me as a coach. And also, recently, I have been looking forward to starting a program called Intentional Impact. So that's going to help me with storytelling, branding, the whole, you know, business work and stuff like that. So that's going to be cool as fuck. And yeah, excited to start that from next month. What about you, bro?
Honestly, I feel like I'm finally stepping in. Um, I think the thing that had the biggest impact on me, I did a meditation on the day that there was a very powerful portal opening. I had no clue, right? But I told my girlfriend that like whenever I did the meditation, it was just out of this world type of thing. When your body's shaking, kind of thing. And she told me, "Oh yeah, even Sadhguru was celebrating yesterday because it was a very important day in terms of the energy field." I was like, "What?" And like I feel like I'm out of my depression. I was definitely fucking depressed from the end of the last year to the beginning of this year. I have been depressed like 100%. That shit sucks like as fuck. 'Cause sometimes you don't even want to take a shower. But now, um, I'm doing a hell of a lot better. I'm feeling like I'm more free, and I'm more expressive, and I give less fucks, and I own my reality, and I don't need nobody's validation. I feel like I've closed the energy gaps that were leaking. Um, I feel like I'm just I'm just that kind of person. Right now, I'm just that kind of person that like people want to be. Like that's who I feel like I'm becoming. That's my win.
That's cool as fuck, man. That's something amazing to be proud of because I've always noticed that when I have like a dark night of the soul and it goes on for a really long time, I notice that there's always another, awakening on the other side of it. So that's exciting as well because you just come out of that. There's definitely going to be some spiritual gifts for you very soon. So that's awesome, man. So the topic today, I was thinking about this idea. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It's called a Sigma male. So basically, the idea of a Sigma male is that, the alpha runs on the top of the social hierarchy. The Sigma male doesn't breaks people out of the matrix. So they're not even on the hierarchy, but they're on the same level as the alpha. They're basically a much more self-aware or introverted alpha. So that's the idea of it. Think of the lone wolf character. Think of, I don't know, like Han Solo, Hank Moody, these characters that are quite, esoteric or a little bit not mainstream, right? These guys who are kind of doing their own thing in their own lane. Um, that's what I want to help people to discover is to awaken their Sigma spirit, to be able to understand like, yeah, you're not a normie, you're doing your own thing. You're here to create your own world. So tips in terms of that and how to survive as the lone wolf. You want to kick it off, brother?
Yeah. So the thing that came for me was so many times people who are beginning to get into the dating field, right? By the way, we're also going to talk about women. Like because you cannot talk about men and women without they we need both. We need to talk about both. Um. Oh yeah. So like I was saying, man, what the fuck was I gonna fucking say? Shit. All right. I'm sorry, everybody. You can leave this
You're gonna say
podcast
so.
now.
You were gonna say something about women.
Okay. So when men want to begin dating their dating journey, they're like, "Oh, what do I say to the girl? What do I say to the boy?" That's the stupidest fucking thing ever. Just so you know, that's you. You're fucking. If you're there, I want you to know that you're a fucking loser. All right, and you need to accept that for yourself. All right, that's a 100%. Like you cannot keep living like, oh yeah, I'm a winner. I'm scared to talk to girls. I don't even know how to say hi. I'm always thinking about what I need to tell you. It's bullshit. All right, that's bullshit. And the way you get rid of that is by being so fucking in your purpose, right? Knowing yourself 100% and not needing any fucking validation from anybody. And you do that by you giving yourself the validation, you giving yourself the permission to live. All right? Plain and motherfucking simple. Mic drop.
Facts, man. So, yeah, totally. Having that mission, that purpose, a lot of people call it by different words, I feel like. But yeah, having that as a gravitational pull, right? That whenever you're struggling, you can always come back to that thing that keeps you moving forward, which does help with the I don't know what to say, what do I say? that stage which we've all been through. So yeah, I feel that Sigmas love to consume a lot of information. I feel like they're really into like reading books and like, getting all sorts of knowledge, but I think that their type of game is different. So for instance, like, at at your workplace, let's say you're at your workplace and all the guys are like trying to flirt with the new girl, like by the water cooler, they're just all flirting with her, peppering her with compliments, telling her she looks beautiful. Like the Sigma doesn't game like that. You know what I mean? Like the Sigma will just go in, get something from the vending machine and be like, hi, and just walk away. Like straight up. That will be his style of game. Like he won't engage with that yet. He's more interested in the long-term strategy of the storyline or the love story narrative building over time. right? And that's what I notice is that like certain people, they keep that mystery alive in the character, and they don't go very direct. And I think that that subtlety can work sometimes, and that subtlety can sometimes, break people out of what they're looking for. And I think it also depends on the girl, right? But yeah, what is your opinion on the different style of game in terms of someone who's more Sigma?
So, what is it that every single woman wants from a man? And when she sees as soon as she sees a man do this, she just loves it. She's like, man, that's a great man. And this very simple thing is called displaying higher values, right? And let me give you an example from my own life. We went to a restaurant, and and I was currently fasting. My friends were eating. I wanted to come and vibe, chill anyway, and test myself, around the food. And we have this waitress. She's got her fucking titties all fucking perked up. They're right in your fucking face, man. They're right in your fucking face. There's no way not to see these hoes. They do that shit on fucking purpose, you bitch. So, um, she's like, "Oh, you gonna get something?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm currently fasting, right? I'm doing and she's like, "Oh really? Uh, well, I mean, maybe you can get some food still." Da, 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 da. And I was like, no, 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 I'm serious, but I'm glad you're testing me because it just shows how strong I am. And she's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And she starts asking me all these questions about fasting, da 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 da. Da. She's like, and she gets to one specific question, and I mean, I'm telling her, right? And she gets to a specific question. She's like, "Oh, so why are you fasting?" And I didn't want to tell her, right? Because the real answer is because I'm trying to get rid of shit inside of my body. Just plain and simple. That's the fucking answer. So I'm not gonna tell her that in that moment. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. And in fact, it would seem rude and it would be kind of gross. So I respond and I say, I'd rather not get too much into it. She's like, "Oh, I respect that." Da, da, da. And she keeps asking me questions. Da, da, da. She's like, "Oh, I like your pants." Da, da, da. She's giving me all these compliments, and she's still talking after she took everybody's order. She's still talking to me, and I was like, um, "Don't you want to get some? Don't like I can't remember exactly what I said, but I basically said like the drinks. Can you go get those? Like that's what you came to do really." And she's like, "Oh yeah, da da da." She goes um and I didn't I didn't say, "Oh, hey, what's up? You're pretty." Oh, da 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 da. Da. I didn't say, "Oh, I love your tits." I didn't say, "Oh, hey, would you like to go on a date sometime?" All of those are the wrong answer. All I did was be myself. My own life is my higher value because I live it every single fucking day. And if you have trouble with women, it's because you're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking pussy ass motherfucker. You get that? That you're a pussy ass motherfucker because women don't want you. Okay? I'm done.
Nice, man. Nice. He gives a lot of mic drops this episode. All right. So, yeah, man, I like that example of just you shining your light and then having, you know, I like that imagery of like women being like moths towards that light because it's like, you're just like you're in your own vibration, right? You're in your own frequency. And so people who align to that or are curious about it, they're gonna ask more questions, right? And so she was like, oh, and what about this thing about the fast, right? And so it creates this great sense of polarity. So yeah, it's like I almost see the Sigma like the kind of guy who instead of going all the way direct, he's like waiting. He's like the guy in the video game that like camps with a sniper. You know what I mean? Like he's not the guy who's just like with the machine gun, going. Brah. He's like kind of silently like he's waiting for the right moment to pounce or like strike. And I think that in that same regard, he's using his communication and his intelligence and his playfulness to a certain extent where it's making his character stronger, right? And so I guess like we all know this idea that inner work is the new sexy, you know, people post memes and stuff about it. But what exactly does that mean? You know what I mean? Like I think it's somebody who's tapped into their own spirit. It's somebody who is very has a keen insight in terms of, you know, what's going on. I saw this funny like video called spiritual pickup artists. Just it's really funny, like two guys trying to impress this one girl, right? And one guy's like, "Oh, I invented you know, a mantra breathing technique that is called the ego eradicator. Would you like me to show you?" Like, you know, and there's two guys, you know, battling it out.
If you would like to contact Sumed for peak performance coaching, go to @FlowZone Academy on Instagram. That's FLOZONE Academy.
You know, with each other, and it's like it's so on point, you know, because it's like it's just like the guy is just trying to, you know, show his social value through all of the inner work that he's done, all of this kind of stuff that he's done, you know. And it reminded me, and it also kind of, you know, at the same time it kind of triggered me because I was like, damn, I do this sometimes, or I'm like, oh, I noticed this about myself. So it's a nice like reflection to be able to actually look into that aspect of myself. And yeah, just one thing that I would tell guys is like not to come off as like this kind of this pretentious type of guy who's like really into his own world. Like don't get it confused that you are on your own journey, that it looks like you're just selfish, you know what I mean? Like I've kind of gotten myself into that bubble where I'm just like, you know, I'm all in it just for me and nobody else matters. But we're here to be dependent on the people in our lives and, you know, show up for them as well. And I think it's important to balance that out, um, in getting, you know, out of that bubble of just being by ourselves. Um, so personally, you know, I've noticed that when I get more social, it's like I start to absorb the environment. Like I'll walk into, let's say, a mall and I'll just be like, I am the mall, you know, like I am the consciousness of the mall right now. And every single, you know, little donut stand, drink here and there, like that is all me. And everything that I see is a reflection of me. And that really helps me, you know, it gets me into the flow because autotelic is to be one with what you're doing, right? And so if you're just hanging around, you know, you are your environment in that moment. So if you have a very disturbing environment, it's important for you to create a distance sometimes that, okay, I am still the observer, right? And then come back to that point. But yeah, I've noticed that ability to just merge with the environment that you're in, like especially if there's music playing, like I become the music, you know, I start tapping my foot or whatever, and I slowly get into the rhythm, to the rhythm of the night, you know, and it becomes more fun along the way. I think that that's pretty magnetic when you can have much more fun in your environment rather than like, you know, depending on it and being like, oh man, this movie better be good. Ah, like, you know, you're waiting in line. You're like, oh man, I've been waiting in this line forever. This movie better be badass. I can't wait. And it's like really bad. Instead of having an expectation, I think it's more important to be like, you know, let me just see how this movie is. You know, I don't know how it's not set up anything, you know, just kind of like use your curiosity as the lead, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yo, recently I sent a message in my group maybe last week. I'm watching this movie. It's called, don't know what it's called. And there's a scene, right? You know, so the main character is actually a very hated person. Like when you fucking watch the movie, you're like, I fucking hate this bitch so much. Because what she does is she targets old people, right? And she uses her doctor, a doctor that she has to write a letter to the judge and say that this person cannot take care of themselves anymore, and then the government gives that's this person control over this old person's assets, right? All of their assets, and control over their life, what they eat, where they sleep, all that shit, bro. And and it gets to a scene where she had fucked with some wrong people, with some Russian mafia people, and they put her in a car, right? In her car, they put a bottle in there, and they started the car. They made it go real fast. They pushed the car, boom, it's going through the road, through the woods, and they try to kill her basically, and she falls into a lake with the car inside the car. And I was really hoping that she died. I actually stopped watching the movie at that point because I just wanted to pretend that she died because I hated her so much. She just caused so much just hate in me, you know? But anyway, the point here is what if the movie just ends right there? Right? What if it just ends right there? And it's that's very well possible. It's very well possible that you are going to die. Right? 100% you're gonna fucking die. You gotta remind yourself, I can die today. That's not out of the picture. You're very well maybe gonna die today. Right? And see, me just speaking this, that's sexy, right? Because it's a higher value, because people don't take the time to contemplate their own death. That is fucking sexy, right? So the next thing I want to say is, how do you talk good about yourself without bragging? It's very simple. All you have to do is talk good about yourself without needing the other person's validation, right? A lot of times people say, "Oh, I got this." Why are you saying that? I didn't need to hear that. That's weird. Don't tell me that. That like they say it in a way like they're trying to impress you, right? And it just
Yeah.
like you said this the other day. You said this the other day, bro. Don't try to impress. Just be impressive, right? Like you are like when you're trying to impress, it's like you're trying to make print somewhere else. Impress, right? But when you're impressive, your state of being naturally does it for you, right? It's almost like I would say it's the equivalent of saying you have a nice watch at home versus just walking around with your nice watch. I think I would say that's the difference.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's like talking about it and rather than just walking the talk, right? To be able to show people that, yeah, this is what it is. Yeah, man, that's so true. I've noticed that we spend so much of our mental energy trying to, you know, think of what other people are thinking about us, and I think that can be used for so many other things, right? In our minds, that like we can use that mental energy for even saving it up. You know what I mean? Like I recently got to this understanding of the energy that we use throughout the day, right? Like 12 hours or however hours you're awake, or you know, um, in that energy time, you don't want to give it all your 100% throughout the whole day. I'm saying, right? Because you're going to feel exhausted. So what you want to do is you want to give it 70%. So like 7 out of 10, you would be in flow throughout that day, right? But if you're giving it one, you're basically bored. You're like, yeah, this is too easy, you know. But if you're overwhelmed throughout the day, that means you're pushing it past the limit. And sometimes we do need that extra energy sometimes to push us out of a moment to gain momentum. However, if you're doing that constantly, it's going to be draining, right? It's going to be exhausting. So I've consciously had to remind myself to stay between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, right? Of like rest and digest, fight or flight, like right between, like swim in between those two to keep myself in the zone. And I think Sigmas do this really well, is they're able to live in their own flow, right? They're able to live in their own rhythm or their own wave. And they're not trying to go by society's wave or, somebody else's wave. They're kind of just, they're on the off beaten path, as you'd say, and they're creating their own niche or own lane. And I think that's what makes them very attractive as well, because they're not like the bad boy or the rebel, right? They're doing something very similar. They're just doing something that is meaningful to them, and they're self-amused. So of course they're going to bring other people's vibes up. I think along with the self-amusement, I think the other amusement is also important. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, to amuse yourself means to amuse others. It's like if you're just self-amusing, that's like it's another story, right? So I think for guys starting out, I think these labels of like sigma, alpha, theta, beta, whatever the heck there is, these are important because they give us something to strive for, like something to look forward to. You know what I mean? And so once people are more clear or they have more clarity in their mind, then they can sort of, you know, see themselves in a new light. It's like doing assessments or personality quizzes online and stuff. I love doing those because I always get a new insight. Last thing is, I noticed what you said about the movie, which I find very interesting. You said that, this character, I didn't like her, I didn't mind if the movie ended right there or whatever. And I resonate with that a lot because I see that in movies sometimes. I'm like, man, this is a like I don't like this character. There's something about this character that just upsets me, or you know, um, and I noticed that it is a repressed part of myself, or it's some elements of like shadow work that I've got to do in as I'm watching that movie. Like, because in shadow work, like the things that irritate you is the thing that is the crucial element that like awakens you or like changes you and embraces your character. So yeah, I wanted to point that out, that sometimes when we get irritated by certain characters, it's like it's to do with the understanding of parts of ourselves which we were not willing to face, or just being able to do that shadow work in a way where we're noticing it and then we're able to integrate it later.
I want to bring up the topic of serious playfulness, right? Too serious, not attractive. Too playful, not attractive either. What are you, fucking gay? Like, why are you too playful? You know? Um, and so I'll give you an example of my own life, right? I show up at this place, picking up some food, and when I get there, I'm like, oh, da 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 da. Oh, and the guy's like, okay, I'll wrap it up in a minute. And then he's with somebody at the cash register, two girls. Oh, I can't see him, but they dress cute. And he asked them, the cash register guy's like, do you guys need a receipt? And the girls are like, nah, no thanks. And then I was like, yeah, fuck receipts. Just like out loud, right? So it's like serious, because at the same time it's like, yeah, fuck a receipt, man. Like, what the hell, the paper on the receipt itself is fucking dangerous. It contains chemicals that'll fuck you up, that'll fuck with your endocrine system. Okay, that's your hormonal system. um so yeah, fuck that shit. But at the same time, it's like, it's playful because it's like, it's a bit random. It's a bit like, it's just that, like, it's playful because it's two people that I have never met before, right? And I'm interacting into their world. Like, it just, that's the only way I can explain it. Another example, one that comes to mind actually, of the displaying higher values, which is you just display your knowledge, right? Because So like the mystery method goes, right? Um, attention, attraction, that's a better word. Attraction, comfort, seduction, right? How would you attract somebody? Well, with novelty, like new information, something just different, right? That could be the way you're dressed, right? But it could also be with new information. And I was at a shop, and I'm getting checked out, and the girl's like, "Hey, can I get your signature here?" And I told her, um, I can't give you my signature, but I can give you my autograph. And I was like, "Did you know that the word um, signature originated as a way of a soul contract, right? So when people give it a signature, they're giving away their soul, right?" And she's like, "Oh, damn, fuck, that's deep, right? That's attraction, right? Bada bing, bada boom."
Yeah. Um, Man, I love throwing out like random facts, just like facts, like just dropping facts like that. And the example that I'm getting is like you always remember the teacher if you ever been to school at all. You always remember that teacher that like you always remember that teacher that makes you laugh, right? So they pepper in little moments of humor, and humor is great because it actually helps you remember facts better, right? It actually helps you retain information better. So the fact that you can get to that level of charisma is pretty powerful in combining both of those energies. And I think that it's really attractive, when someone is super serious about their life, like that they're going after it. But then when they become rigid and stubborn and unwilling to change and cooperate, like that becomes unattractive. So I feel like it's on a spectrum for sure. And the same with playfulness. Like you don't want to be whimsical. You don't want to be like freaking Willy Wonka in this bitch. You want to be like, a lighter version of him. So right before, maybe even just elements of, I like the Johnny Depp character because I feel that that character is very Sigma in its own right. Um, in the sense of like, if you take Jack Sparrow, for instance, Pirates of the Caribbean, he has his flaws, you know what I mean? Like he's a drinker and stuff like that. And he swears and yada yada. Like he has his whole list of flaws. However, he's captivating as a character because he's he has a purpose. He has his own world that he's generating and creating through his vibe. And he's a freaking pirate, bro. You know what I mean? Like a pirate is an outlaw technically. And so he is actually completely against the system that he has rejected, right? Everybody else is like, yeah, let's be a little sailor man, and like get on the seven seas. He's like, bro, I'm like, you know, I got the black pearl with me. It's like a whole different type of energy. So I think that's a great example, as well as Hank Moody. I really like that example as well because he is like um, the epitome of like this writer who's very dark, right? He goes into his internal world a lot. He's very tormented, like the kind of tormented soul character of like his life didn't really go exactly as planned, but he still pulls women because he's great with his words. He's able to use his strengths in a way that it works for him. And he's also playful. He doesn't take life seriously. When he's talking to women and stuff, like, he's not like trying to get it done. He's just, that's naturally his character, is that character. And so, yeah, another great example. Um, and the other example I can think of is like Han Solo. If you ever watch like Star Wars, he's kind of doing his own thing with Chewie over here, where the whole season is like everybody else is kind of following the plot. It's like Han Solo can do his own show, like his own spin-off over here, which he has. Childish Gambino was on like that newest Solo where he's playing that character in the movie Solo. So check that out for sure.
Okay. If you want to get the most beautiful women, and really all women, you need to be a bad boy. Plain and simple, right? I've spoken about this before. My two favorite bad boys, Elon Musk and Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These are all bad boys, right? Why are they bad boys? Because they go against the narrative. They go against what's normal, what's considered normal, and we all know that the normal that the normies follow, that the sheeple follow, is not the real normal, right? Let's say Elon Musk, right? Why is he a bad boy? Homie just pulls up, don't give a fuck that other people are already in the fucking car industry, all that bullshit. He pulls up, he does his thing, it becomes successful. Every single time. He doesn't give a fuck, man. And you don't have to get tattoos to be a bad boy. You don't have to kill people to be a bad boy. You don't need to be a bully to be a bad boy. In fact, being a fucking bully is pathetic. It's unethical. It's unethical. And if you want to get the most beautiful woman, you need to be highly ethical. Right? And I'm not just talking about a hood rat ass bitch with some big tits and a fat ass. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about the finest fucking women that exist here on earth. Spiritual, caring, loving, nurturing, soft, intelligent, submissive. These are the fucking women that you want. Highly beautiful, highly beautiful. And they do it with ease. Like they don't even try so hard to be beautiful, right? They just do it with, like, it's just so fucking easy for them. That's the girl that you want. You don't want the fucking girl that's putting all that fucking makeup on. I don't. I can see right through that shit. I do like minimal makeup, no cap. But when you go fucking above and beyond, man, get the fuck out of here. You ain't beautiful. You trying too hard. You're trying too hard because your soul isn't beautiful enough. So you need to overcompensate. Because I've seen many beautiful women that were in a way simple, right? They weren't. Of course, all women are complex, but like they had a simplicity to them, and it was just incredibly beautiful.
If you would like to connect to your higher self, contact Ivan at odd.resilience. That's ODD.resilience. Also, make sure you follow the Better Man Podcast on Instagram. See you next time.
They're just cute ass motherfucking house, man.
Yeah, man, I'd have to agree with you on that one for sure. Like, I think one of the qualities is like, I don't know what the word is, bro, but it's like, it's not shyness, but it's like a kind of like, it's a lightness in the personality, right? It's like a softness in the personality for sure. And so I want to talk a little bit about the understanding of that we have these different, personality traits as a Sigma. So Elon Musk is a great example of the Sigma male because he is, first of all, he's like all on his own, just in his lab, just doing his own thing, with his own creations. So I think that one thing is solitude. You got to be in isolation and solitude and do your own inner work, meditate, really take care of yourself by yourself before you go out and meet the world. Same philosophy of the beast, right? If you're following Lion's Den at all. So, and the second is to be adaptable, to be versatile, to not get caught up with so many, ideas and concepts that are just stuck in your mind. Certainty is stagnancy because it's like, when you're so certain, you don't want to learn anymore. So it's like you want to be open to the unknown and be open to the chaos of life. The other thing is treating everybody the same, man. Like unless ad vitam ad culpam, for life until misbehavior, Stoic principle, but treat everybody the same, from the sense of like you treat the person who's handing you your groceries, just the security guard in the mall, and a tiny child that someone introduces you to just everybody. You treat everybody from a level of just love and compassion, and you don't like I don't speak to children like I don't do that baby talk shit. With kids, I basically talk to them in their higher form. Like I see them as adults already. Of course, I don't treat them in the same regard and ethics as an adult, but I do speak to them just like normally, man. And I feel like I connect with kids like that, on a deeper level, because it's like, they're in their own world. They're still forming their ego at that stage. And so it's important to have healthy role models that they look up to. And a lot of in life, there's not really many healthy role models right now. It's like you've got to be that. If you have this thought, like, man, like who's out here doing it, like be that person. You know what I mean? I think that's important to be the change that you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi said. So, and of course, being a badass, disregarding authority, acquiring checks, disregarding females who are, overly loud and obnoxious, and just being extremely confident and self-aware and able to not be scared of the unknown, but to see the unknown as an adventure, as a quest, as something that you're going to have to overcome to get to the next level. And I think that's what also demonstrates a higher value, to be flowmatic.
A lot of times we think, you see a beautiful girl, and a lot of times we think, oh, I gotta bring my A game. I gotta say the funniest shit ever. I gotta be like, I don't know, a little more energetic. Da, 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 da. We're thinking too much. All you need to really do is be calm as fuck when you talk to her. Right? Don't be a fucking pussy ass bitch. Like, that's not attractive because it's not self-contained. Right? If you cannot contain yourself, it's very unattractive. Just so you know that. Right? It's very simple just to be like, hey, what's up? I know we're in the gym right now and it's kind of weird, but I mean, thought you were pretty because I like the way you slicked your hair back and you're wearing all black. I don't know, you're a fucking vibe. Just wanted to come get to know you. I know it's a bit weird, but because this is the gym, people don't usually do that. People don't even talk to each other. That's why, no matter what the situation, like, but I mean, I'm just going off on it, but do you see like there's an awareness of the situation? Like you have to acknowledge like it's not very common to approach women anywhere in general, unless you're at the club, right? And but the thing is like it's totally okay. Like it's actually totally cool, like for you to do it, right? And every time you approach a girl, in her head, she's thinking, "I hope he doesn't approach me. I hope he approaches me." Right? Like she's thinking both because a lot of times dumbass motherfuckers approach her. But see, if you're like me, Sumed, or any of the guys at IMC, you'll understand that. Fuck, bro. I started thinking too much about IMC, and I and I went off. Can you remind me the last thing I was saying?
Yeah, if you're like me or Sumed or anybody else at IMC, how would you treat
But
the
before
situation?
that,
Talking about like calibration in terms of like how, yeah, just approaching someone and being like You know, like if they're at the gym, you tell them like, I know it's not normal that I normally approach, but however, um, yeah,
Cool. Yeah. So why is that attractive? Because it's honest. Lying is the least alpha thing you can do. And being honest is the most alpha thing you can do. 100%. Just be honest. Just be honest. But we've been conditioned. We've been punished too much for telling the truth. So we hide. We hide because we're scared. But you see, you know what? You're a fucking grown man now. You're a fucking big boy. You got hairs on your fucking balls and in your ass. All right. So you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. All right. You got that? Or you can continue to be a little bitch, little fucking mommy and daddy bitch. That's what you fucking are. All right. So don't do that. Okay. Go out there. Go out there. And it's not about not being afraid. It's about doing it even if you're afraid. And if you've never done something like this before, that's even more a reason why you should do it. The same way that the less you want to eat healthy is the more you need to eat healthy. The less you want to go to the gym is the more you need to exercise. Plain and simple. If you have not hit that place where just a lot of women want you all the time, anywhere, like, I mean, I'll go to the club, to a bar, whatever, downtown. And sometimes I'll be like, on my head, I'll be there like, fuck all these bitches. Like, everybody here is stupid. Like, all getting drunk. They're fucking dumbasses. Right? And a girl will come and sit on my lap with a nice ass. And that happened. That actually happened to me. But I was like, I pushed her off. I was like, what the hell, bitch? The fuck you think? You thought I wanted some ass. Oh no, I'm sorry, bitch. I ain't like the rest of these motherfuckers, all right? I don't need your fucking ass. I don't need your fucking pussy. All right? Get the fuck out of here. You know, because you actually don't need it. You just, it's just like that, man. It's just like that. Being self-contained. Right? And if a girl doesn't give you that feeling of fire in you, man, you don't need to go talk to her. You don't. It's not gonna work out, man.
truly, you do need that burning desire, that impulse before, like, because I don't normally approach girls unless I feel that, like, that feeling of like, oh man, I need to talk to her, you know, that primal feeling, you know, that we all get, that testosterone, right? That just like feeling of like, damn, you know, there's something different about her. So I totally agree with that. I think that should be a law of the universe, bro, to be honest. Like you said, like the less you eat healthy, the more you need to eat healthy. Like, you know, that's one of those like Deepak Chopra laws or something, bro. Like, I don't know, or like the law of polarity, maybe. But yeah, man, it's powerful. And the idea of calibration and mindfulness, I've noticed this a lot, bro. And I was talking about this in a video about, you know, if you see like a girl just sitting by herself, however, she has two cups, you can assume that, you know, someone went to the restroom and they're going to come back, right? But if you're unmindful, you're going to make a stupid ass comment like, you here by yourself, you know, without even looking at the fact that there are two cups on the table. You know what I mean? So having that mindfulness and attentiveness of the situation, the social calibration, or just the acuity of like, you can understand how she's thinking as a beautiful woman. Like she's had 1,000 guys approach her probably at this point, that night only. And you want to come in from a different angle completely, right? So you're not going straight up like, you know, but at the same time, you're being honest. And I like the fact you mentioned that, right? Like if you're coming in and you're like, you genuinely notice something that you like about her, you state that, you know, hey, I like the symbolism on your jacket. What does that mean? You know, it's so unique. It's like nobody comes across like that in that way, you know? So it's like, first of all, it's a pattern interrupt, right? It breaks the paradigm that she's currently in. So, I mean, you're basically like, this is a conversation that can lead to a breakthrough and an awakening, right? In some way. Like that's the kind of the vibe of the convo is like, if this conversation continues from this point forward, it's just going to get better from here, right? There's going to be an avalanche of good vibes from both of us. And I think that's the frequency that a lot of um, lone wolves have got to carry with themselves. Don't just understand that wolves also need a tribe at a certain point. So, hang around other people who are doing it. And that's why I think, being a part of like a group of guys like IMC, for instance, just being a part of a tribe like that, it keeps you accountable, right? It keeps you like on purpose and on code. And I think that that's really powerful, because then you can, when I feel unmotivated, I think about all the other guys, in that group who feel unmotivated that day. And it gives me like an extra perspective where I'm like, I'm not the only one, dealing with this emotion right now. And it puts me into a low grade flow state that day. So that's cool to be able to have accountability like that.
What I wanted to say is how to give a proper compliment. You don't go up and say, "Oh, hey, you're pretty. Oh, hey, you're hot." Stupid. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. And in fact, even if somebody, like, just what if someone do the same shit to you? They go up to you, "Hey, what's up? You're hot." "Oh, thanks." What else are you gonna fucking say after that? It's retarded. What you do is you make it specific, not some generic bullshit. Something specific about that person, right? And maybe their vibe, the way they put their outfit together, uh, shit, the look in their eyes, whatever it may be, right? And make it authentic. It's got to be real. Can't be bullshit. It's got to be real. And the thing I wanted to say about the guys at IMC is like we do the things that the 1% does, right? And if you do the things the 1% does, you're it'll be harder at first, right? But actually, when you do hard things, your life becomes easy. And when you do the easy things, your life becomes hard, right? That's the paradox.
Another law, bro. Yeah.
By the way, I have to go soon because it's getting late. I have to shower and stuff like that. But I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. Is there anything else you want to say?
Um, no, I think we covered most of it, man. I think the idea is like right now, the trailblazers, the people right now who are the Sigmas, this is your time to shine, because everybody else on the planet needs you. You are the type of person that people need to look up to right now and be a role model. So if you're the type of guy listening right now and you're thinking like, oh, what do I do? Like, step up during this lockdown time and show people that being in solitude and creating your own vibe is possible. So yeah, that would be one message to you, is like, people need you right now. So be the golden north and be the type of person that you wish to see. That's it. May the flow be with you guys. You're muted, brother. You're muted.
I'm saying I'll just cut it. I'll cut it right there where we said bye. For sure. What time is it over there?
It's 8:37 in the morning.
Nice. Dope. Alrighty, homie. Take care. Much love.
Yeah. Peace out, brother.